All right, welcome back. There's, I think the new module has been released. So let's take a look at that. So this would be Unit 2.3 on laying graph. It was released this week. So let's uh, dive into that. All right, so welcome to this next part of our journey where you'll learn how to build applications using the LangGraph framework designed to help you structure and orchestrate complex LLM workflows. LangGraph is a framework that allows you to build production-ready applications by giving you control tools over the flow of your agent. Module overview. In this unit, you'll discover number one, what is LangGraph and when to use it. Number two, building blocks of LangGraph. Number three, Alfred the mail sorting butler. Number four, Alfred the document analyst agent. And number five, the quiz. The examples in this section require access to a powerful LLM/VLM model. We ran them using GPT-40 API because it has the best capability with LangGraph. By the end of this unit, you'll be equipped to build robust, organized, production-ready applications. That being said, this section is an introduction to LangGraph, and more advanced topics can be discovered in the free LangChain Academy course, Introduction to LangGraph. So this is a course by the company that created LangGraph. The company's name is LangChain, and they have a free course that is at a higher level. Let's get started. So resources, yeah, if you want to dive into that deeper, the Academy, but this is just an overview here. You also have the official documentation. All right, getting started. And the other thing to note is I still don't have my there's a guide I've been wanting to implement. It's just been kind of annoying because uh, so where I'm at so this is I did it in another series. It's creating a self-managed sovereign cloud that you can access anywhere in the world. And the good news is I figured out how to um, how to get it to work. So I can access my home network from anywhere in the world now. The bad news is I don't have everything set up and ready to go the way I uh, I need it to be. Um, yeah, so that's the bad news, and it has to be that way because I need to I need to be able to. I don't want to use. I don't know. I just don't want to pay for these API uh, uh, open a. I don't want to pay for the OpenAI API, which is probably a limiting belief because honestly, it would probably cost me $30 or so to have a project or two that proves that I'm employable as an AI engineer. And, what would be the trade off of that? Like, people pay $50,000 to go to school to get a job. So if I could pay $30 to build a project or two to get a job, that's a good deal. So I realize it's kind of a silly limiting belief. And then, forget about a job. Like, I could even build my own product. I have a number of ideas for really valuable products I could use AI agents for. There's another YouTuber who just simply he's kind of on another he's So Ch T3 Chad, I think. Yeah, this guy here, Theo, um, really, really brilliant business idea. A lot of these companies are, um, they're not focused on, they're focused on particular aspects, right? They're focused on training the models, they're focused on delivering the models to the consumer. So they're not focused on things like UI design. They're not like if we go to the UI for um, ChatGPT, like this is a really basic UI that for somebody who's a like main focus is user interfaces is probably not all that great. So he simply just built a new UI that you could probably even access it. T3 chat, probably even look at it. Yeah, so it's right here. So if we start a new chat here, um, presumably the UI works a lot better than the one here. So let's just ask it, how does AI work? Um, yeah, so I don't get it. I'm pretty happy with my UI. I kind of wouldn't uh, that wouldn't be enough for me to sign up for that, but for lots of other people, it probably would, especially the people just want who want an alternative to the $20 a month. I think you can pay less than $20 a month for that and get a user experience similar or better than the one you would get if you pay $20 a month. Um, so it's so you know what, it's something to think about for sure. But I just, I'm my uh, kind of thing is I was more on the networking side than the um, so I just want to build like a home lab that has this. Like I want to is part of the reason. I know it's probably not the best idea in the world, but it's something I want to do. So so where I'm at is I've got the VPN working. So uh, I'm I set up the ad blocking. Now the problem is, remember, this is your journey. Find the feeds that make you happy. You do not have to use the same ones that I did. So I've been struggling with that a lot. A lot of those feeds not only do not make me happy, but they actively um, limit my browsing experience in ways that I'm not oh uh, oh, I see, in ways that I'm not uh, happy about. Yeah, so the next thing would be installing Ubuntu Server. Um, and I could put I could buy a new graphics card for my server and turn that into more of a I could turn that into more of a something for an iLab rather than something for this. But yeah, that's my other series. I'll probably come back and work on this some more on camera. This series, though, there's a lot of really sensitive, critical information, passwords, um, DNS addresses, IP addresses. So I kind of want to be careful with that one. But it's definitely a great series for sure. Yep, and my VPN still works. But anyways, so that's unfortunately, that's where I'm at with this one, is until I get through and get a local one set up. And if we go to TechCrunch, yeah, if we go here and we look at the GPU database, we might be able to filter it out by price. Nope, I don't see that. Um, but we can so here it is filtered out by popularity. So basically the main thing we want is a lot of memory. So the one that was it'd be nice to sort it by, let's sort it by release date. So we're gonna do released the ones, so there were 45 that were released in 2025. Yeah, but they're all kind of variants of the same one. Um, but I think the big one is the 5090 here with 32 to play with. But it's going to cost quite a bit. Yeah, right now you can buy it for $5,000 there, but it's yeah, that's pretty far out of my range for now, and I feel like it's not necessary too. Like compelling, you can build something compelling, especially if you want just a demo for your like work resume portfolio for a lot less. So something that's half as good would be this here. And this has got 16. And let's see the price. There we go. Starting at, so you can buy it brand new, fresh, from the factory itself for under $600. So that's a much better deal, in my opinion. It's has half the performance of the latest and greatest. But when we compare it to what I have now, I have a 2060 uh, RTX 2060. So I'll do a search for that. Yeah, look at that. I would be upgrading it by two-thirds. I would be upgrading it by what I'm running right now. I only have 35% the power of what I would have if I upgraded to, like, look at how far down this one is. It's quite would be quite an upgrade for a price that is somewhat affordable. And I bet you the 4090s are pretty affordable now too. Well, it looks like new. It's under 2,000, but I feel like a lot of people might be getting rid of their 4090s. I don't know. Yeah, so here's a 4090 for about $1,000, which if you see the other prices, seems like a pretty good deal. Yeah, so there's a lot of people asking about these old 4090s. Yeah, but I would be very happy with the that one that ran at 50 half the power of the latest one, because that would be quite the upgrade. Yeah, this 4070 Ti Super with 16. Right now I've got 6, so I would be very happy with that, and it wouldn't even cost. Um, yeah, so it could even dip around because some of these, like the TI is 92%, and that's only 12 rather than 16. Um, okay, it's about the same. All right, anyway, sorry, I'm getting very distracted here. So let me get back on track. So what is LangGraph? LangGraph is a framework developed by LangChain to manage the control flow of applications that integrate an LLM. Is LangGraph different from LangChain? LangChain provides a standard interface to interact with models and other components useful for retrieval, LLM calls, and tools calls. The classes from LangChain might be used in LangGraph, but do not have to be used. The packages are different and can be used in isolation, but in the end, and this was just released, there's a typo there, resources you will find online use both packages in hand. When should I use LangGraph? Control versus freedom. When designing AI applications, you face a fundamental trade-off between control and freedom. Freedom gives your LLM more room to be creative and tackle unexpected problems. Control allows you to ensure predictable behavior and maintain guardrails. Code agents, like the ones you can encounter in small agents, are very free. They can handle multiple tools in a single action step, create their own tools, etc. However, this behavior can make them less predictable and less controllable than a regular agent working with JSON. LangGraph is on the other end of the spectrum. It shines when you need control on the execution of your agent. LangGraph is particularly valuable when you need control over your applications. It gives you the tools to build an application that follows a predictable process while still leveraging the power of LLMs. Put simply, if your application involves a series of steps that need to be orchestrated in a specific way, with decisions being made at each junction point, LangGraph provides the structure you need. As an example, let's say we want to build an LLM assistant that can answer some questions over some documents. Since LLMs understand text the best, before being able to answer the question, you will need to convert other complex modalities, charts, tables, into text. However, that choice depends on the type of document you have. This is a branching that I choose to represent as follow. Alright, so tip, the left part is not an agent, as here no tool call is involved, but the right part will need to write some code to query the XLS, convert to pandas, and manipulate it. So we got a user question and an input document, check the document type. So if it's a PDF, we're going to check for images/tables. Yes, we're going to use OCR in the LLM. No, we don't have to use OCR. So XLS, use a code agent with pandas. While this branching is deterministic, you can also design branching that are conditioned on the output of an LLM, making them undeterministic. The key scenarios where LangGraph excels include multi-step reasoning processes that need explicit control on the flow, applications requiring persistence of state between steps, systems that combine deterministic logic with AI capabilities, workflows that need human-in-the-loop interventions, complex agent architectures with multiple components working together. In essence, whenever possible as a human, design a flow of actions based on the output of each action and decide what to execute next accordingly. In this case, LangGraph is the correct framework for you. LangGraph is, in my opinion, the most production-ready agent framework on the market, which, in my opinion, isn't saying a lot because we're very much at the infancy of AI. So it's tomorrow a better one probably could be released. How does LangGraph work? At its core, LangGraph uses a directed graph structure to define the flow of your application. Nodes represent individual processing steps, like calling an LLM, using a tool, or making a decision. Edges define the possible transitions between steps. State is user-defined and maintained and passed between nodes during execution. When deciding which node to target next, this is the current state that we look at. We will explore those fundamental blocks more in the next chapter. How is it different from regular Python? Why do I need LangGraph? You might wonder, I could just write regular Python code with if-else statements to handle all these flows, right? While technically true, LangGraph offers some advantages over vanilla Python for building complex systems. You could build the same application without LangGraph, but it builds easier tools and abstractions for you. It includes states, visualization, logging, also known as tracing. That's another word for logs. Uh, Built-in human in the loop, and more. All right, building blocks of LangGraph. To build applications with LangGraph, you need to understand its core components. Let's explore the following building blocks that make up a LangGraph application. An application in LangGraph starts from an entry point, and depending on the execution, the flow may go from one function to another until it reaches the end. So start, node 1, node 2, node 3, end. Number one, state. State is the central concept in LangGraph. It represents all the information that flows through your application. So from typing underscore extensions, import typed dict, class state typed dict. So this is a class that inherits the typed dict class that we imported. And graph state. Now this is a strange. This is a very strange syntax here. Yeah, and I don't think I can do this because I need to have. Let me just try to mimic that syntax. There's a really good strategy for learning Python called learning Python the hard way, where you simply character by character type in exactly what you see. You can learn so much doing that. I definitely recommend that. Um, let's do from typing extensions import typed dict because you want to see like seeing these errors, like you want to get used to these errors and what they mean. So we can see we've got a module not found error. So this is a great way to learn Python that I recommend to anyone. Just if you see it, monkey see, monkey do. You see the Python code, so you type it in character by character on the first Python prompt you see, and because you need to get used to what you're seeing. We see multiple things. We see the version of Python I'm running. We see the hardware on my computer, 64-bit AMD processor. It looks like, and then we see module not found error. So I don't have that module installed. Okay, so I'm creating a virtual environment. I want to get that module installed, but I could just play around with. I'm just not familiar with that. Yeah, you know what? Forget about this. I'm gonna control C it. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go back to the same prompt I had before, and let's just define a class. We're gonna say my class in camel case. All right, and now let's try this syntax here. So we're gonna say experiment str. Okay, so interesting. That does work. So let's learn about that because um, I we'll learn about that from the LLM. Tell me more about that syntax in the class. So see how it has a syntax after the class that says graph underscore state colon str, and then I experimented in my own terminal and said experiment colon str. I'd never seen that sort of syntax before in defining a Python class. Tell me more about it, please. So this is called a typed dict. It was introduced in Python 3.8 as part of the typing module, or earlier through typing extensions as seen here. So that's interesting. Um, okay, well, why was it able to? Let me try this from typing extensions import typed dict. Well, why was it? Oh, that is how you spell it. Okay, I thought I did a misspelling there. Well, what I'm confused about next, and I'll ask the LLM, why was it able to run without error on? Why was it able to run without error on my machine if I couldn't import the module? Okay, so curious about that. We'll learn about that later. For now, yeah. So this is what it says. Now this is the LLM, so we don't know. Uh, for sure, this is not the most trustworthy source in the world. That would be the documentation. Um, but what it's saying is that because it inherited this typed dict, it has a extra feature. So what is a typed dict? A typed dict allows you to define dictionary-like objects with specific keys, each associated each associated with specific type. It's essentially a way to enforce and clarify the structure and types of dictionary objects in Python, helping improve type safety and readability. Man, why use it? Type hinting clearly specifies expected types for each dictionary key. Static analysis tools like MyPy or IDE type checkers can provide immediate feedback if incorrect types or keys are used. Better readability, the structure of the data you're working with is explicit. Um, so there we go. So this would be a good time to add my. Oh, you know what? Let's scroll down. So here's my experiment. So when I did this, I defined a simple class attribute annotation. This creates a class level annotation without instantiating or assigning a value. It tells Python static analysis tools what type to expect for experiment, but doesn't create an instance attribute automatically. Oh, okay, I see. So to practically use this syntax with class initialization, you would use something like this. Now, when creating an object, you ensure the instance has an attribute experiment and of type string. Difference. Typed dict defines a dictionary structure clearly. Class attribute type annotations, experiment colon str, annotate class or instance variables for type checking, but don't create any functionality by themselves. They need instantiation and assignment within methods, often underscore underscore init. So okay, I think my experiment would. So let's say my underscore class equals my class like that. So then we'll just say my underscore class, and there we go. We just created a class object. So now let's experiment with the more complete code here. paste anyway. Oop, unexpected indent. So I wish I could get IPython going. I probably can. Uh, okay, so now I've got IPython going, so I can put that in there. I'm going to say my underscore class uh, equals my class. Okay, there we go. So, so we're missing an argument. Yeah, because it says because there. So let's try putting in a number rather than a string. Oh, when it accepts it, what the hell? I thought it said it had to be used. What? Okay. Let's try it again, but let's give it a list. Let's give it an empty list. Huh. Well, now I'm really confused. Let's ask the why is it okay? So let's ask this question: why is it able to run? Can import the module, and then let's ask it this next one. The question would be, why didn't this experimentation here produce any sort of error? Specifically, I would have thought that giving the class a integer or a list, not a string, would result in an error because of the type checking code that we added. Okay. Yeah, so I think yeah, so it's automatically a part of 3.8. Yeah, it's been added to 3.8. Yeah. All right, so let's see the next one. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. So Python's type annotations are not enforced at runtime by default. So uh, so it's just it's almost like a comment. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's almost like leaving a comment in a way, would you say? But you can turn it on. Yeah, so the first way is you can code it in. Say if it's not a string, then it has to be, or you can import a Pydantic and force all of this stuff. Okay, so let me ask the next question. Okay, so that's interesting. It's almost like leaving a comment in a way, would you say? Exactly. Yeah. Now let me just throw a rant. Okay, let me just rant. I absolutely, or let me just rant. RANT. Like I absolutely hate this. Like this is so dumb. This is not Pythonic. Like you should not be having to do this. Like I get like writing it so that the like VS well, I don't even get that. Like writing it so that VS Code makes it prettier. Like has this been a source of contention in the Python community? Like were there a camp of people for this and a camp of people against this? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, this is why the yeah, it became popular precisely because you wouldn't have to do something like that. It's readability, simplicity and dynamic typing. Um, like you wouldn't the explicit force nature of static typing and the company can feel yeah, this is it exactly. For verbosity for no immediate runtime benefit. It feels like you're writing Java-like syntax without gaining yeah, extra overhead, the annotations off of clutter. Exactly. Exactly. I hate it. Like a lot I think a lot of yeah, exactly. I like absolutely hate it. Like I feel like this is a reason like aren't a lot of big companies like moving away from Python to like go with Go or Rust? If so, if is this part of the reason? Also give me some devil's advocate viewpoints. Yeah, yeah, this is what I don't like. It's like it's like leaving a comment in a way. Like yeah, so this is PEP 484, uh, especially with the introduction of libraries relying. Oh, and then they wrote libraries that made it so you had to use it. All right. I mean, whatever. I'm for it. It's not a yeah. The Python community broadly agrees on the following compromise. They're optional. They're not forced. For yeah, you can not use them if you're just because I like to do a lot of experimentation. So like obviously you wouldn't use them in just a quick experiment like that. Um, but I mean they help. Like it makes sense like to have them. Yeah. Okay. I'm on board now. Yeah, it's optional, but it's more widely adopted. Well, actually, that's not true. It's fine. I can take it or leave it. I can take it or leave it. Like in quick experimentation, I'm obviously not gonna write it out. But like in a major project, a major project, like yeah, I would just do whatever the standards were, or if I were designing a standard, I'd be fine with it being part of the standard. Yeah, okay, so here we go. Defending type annotations. This is what I want to see. So they they do improve readability and maintainability. They serve as a built-in documentation that's always in sync with the actual code. They enable IDE features. They can facilitate static analysis. Um, they can remove ambiguity, better integration and API design. So yeah, so my frustration is that Python feels increasingly cluttered and Java-esque, and that's genuinely felt by many experienced Python devs. Um, but whatever. I mean, I would. I would code in Java if I needed to. It doesn't matter. All right. Well, that's out of the way. So yeah, so this is almost like a comment in a way. Um, and I guess it's kind of nice because you can now define this class with basically nothing in it. So it makes because I think if you do a let's do class test and then let's just leave a comment like this. Oh, okay, that works. All right. So anyway, the state is user-defined, hence the field should carefully be crafted to maintain all data needed for decision-making process. Tip, think carefully about what information your application needs to track between steps. Number two, nodes. Nodes are Python functions. Each node takes the state as input, performs some operation, returns updates to the state. So there we're defining the nodes. Okay, so we're going to return I am happy, or it can be sad. So, for example, nodes can contain LLM calls, generate text, or make decisions. Tool calls interact with external systems. Conditional logic determine next steps. Human intervention get input from users. Info. Some nodes necessary for the whole workflow, like start and end, exist from LangGraph directly. Number three, edges. Edges connect nodes and define the possible paths through your graph. So import random from typing, import literal, which is interesting. Okay. So, So edges can be direct, always go from node A to node B, or they can be conditional. Choose the next node based on the current state. Number four, state graph. The state graph is the container that holds your entire agent workflow. All right, looks good to me. So we're using so builder equals state graph, inheriting, so the code earlier applies here. Okay, which can be visualized using this display feature. So, but most importantly, invoked. So we can invoke it. So what's next? In the next section, we'll put these concepts into practice by building our first graph. This graph lets Alfred take in your emails, classify them, and craft a preliminary answer if they are genuine. All right, so now this is where we would go over to the notebook. Now we've got a problem here because the notebook uses a paid model. So like I don't have access for that. We saw that in my earlier ones. I don't have access. My goal is to use a local model. I do have a number of GPUs. In fact, I have a GPU in my I have a I have a trashed gaming laptop sitting here that I can harvest a 9060M from a GTX 9060M. Let's take a look at that because I might be able to get that to work. The problem is if it might not fit. Uh, so let's see a 9060. Let's compare it to see how good it is compared to the latest and greatest, which is the 5090. So a GTX 960M, which will 960. The M probably stands for it's a laptop a GPU. So at the time it was pretty good. Now it's 6% the relative performance of the latest and greatest. All right, so let's see how much better my best piece of hardware is than this. Yeah, so memory size is 2. and I have the M version. So if we go down here, we can see all of the retail boards. So I have the M, which is probably um, here somewhere. So let's do search 960M or space M. Yeah, so I have the mini version. So this is probably what I have that fits in on a laptop here. Yeah, this if I were to pull it out of the yeah, I have an Asus gaming laptop. So if I were to pull that out of this laptop, I could you know what? It's got the yeah, so I could repurpose this in my AI lab. That would be a good idea. That would be a good thing. Yeah, so let's see what I could get out of it compared to what I have now. Okay, so it's I get nearly 3 times the performance with the best of what I have now. And let's see it compared to what I have now. I mean, it would be like it would be like 33, right? Yeah, 30% the performance of my best performing one. But I could do something with it, right? It's like it doesn't have to like when I first bought it, like it could run the like Witcher 3 very very well. So like it can do stuff. It's not like it just can't do anything. So we'll see. Like maybe I could use it for something. So in fact, I should just pull it out and throw it in my cardboard box of other hardware. But that's a job. All right. So yeah, I got that to mess around with. So unfortunately, I can't get far in this um unless I do my get my local setup going or pay for the API. So I think I'm just gonna end the video here. I want to take a walk. Oh, we're almost at the hour mark anyway, even though I kind of rambled on. And I think I'll come back and make another video today and think more about getting a local AI lab set up with what I have, and then I can get a price. Then I can get a better sense of what I would need to buy to actually start doing stuff that's like meaningful. So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.